Just make sure you turn down your volume so it doesn't like really
Oh,
interfere.
unless I have my Bluetooth headset plugged into my PS4, there is no audio.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Quick question: can you hear my air conditioning, or is that still good?
No, I don't really hear any air
You're good.
conditioning.
You're good.
Yeah.
Awesome. My air conditioning's on.
Yeah. We're live, by the way.
Oh,
Nice. Hello,
all right.
everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Decent podcast number 3. Gonna be a little bit simple today. Obviously, like our first small little topic is, did the Arkham games screw up combat for video games?
Yeah, that's a tough one
I,
because
I would
like
say,
I mean, you had like you had like the Assassin's Creed games that did something kind of similar, but at the same time, Arkham was really a lot more about the whole, press one button and spam one button to win the battle sort of deal. Like you had the
Kind of.
occasional press triangle to dodge, and
Or
then it was
counter.
just yeah, or counter, and then the rest was just square, 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 square.
I'll definitely say in Night they I think got the combat the best. Obviously,
Oh
once you
yeah,
like upgrade them like 100%, like it works because you're meant to use like all
all
your
your
gadgets,
gadgets,
like
yeah, to
all the
your
stuff, and
disposal.
mix and match them, so it's not just
yeah,
a straight up fist fight. Because if you just use counter and just like hit, like you're not gonna win in a fast way. You need to use
Yeah,
like everything at your
yeah.
disposal.
yeah. Um, but yeah, it definitely wasn't like that in like Arkham Asylum or even Arkham City. Um, and
City, City and Origins, I would say we're getting close to perfecting it.
yeah, yeah. Um, I'm trying to think of what games other than the Arkham series did that, because I know that other games did it.
Middle
I
Earth,
specifically
Mad
Middle
Max,
Earth. Oh yeah,
Spider-Man. Well, Beanox's the Amazing Spider-Man movie licensed games and Spider-Man
yeah,
Yeah, they
PS4.
did. Shadow of War, no, Shadow of Mordor kind of did with it, with the whole
Yeah,
Arkham system and all that.
yeah.
Until
yeah,
and then Shadow of War came out, and I think that one has the better combat system out of the two of them.
yeah. Because that one's a bit more varied. You have the bow. You have
It's
The
the orcs
hammer,
that
50-50.
can
Yeah.
yeah. You have the hammer. You have the orcs that can counter specific attacks like the bow or like the
some
dodge
are
on
arrow
top of
proof,
them.
some are fireproof, some poison proof. But with the
Yeah,
Arkham series, the only integrating system that they really had was with the bosses and all that, because you had to do certain mechanics. Like with Mr. Freeze, you had to
yeah.
think on your toes, and you
Mhm.
couldn't do the same move twice.
Yeah. I know in Arkham Knight though they did actually have something similar with the evolution that Shadow of War went with, where you had specific enemy types in that game that you couldn't do certain attacks on. You had like the heavy guys or like the you had those ninja ones where you had to dodge a lot and you had to really change up your play
Yeah.
style.
Yep.
Um, they also had like the shock baton ones that if you tried to attack them head on, I think they would I don't know.
So
I might be thinking of
sorry.
the heavies with the little shock swords on them, but yeah,
Zen said the new God of War, and I would have to disagree with that. It
That's a
is a chain combo system
yes.
that God
yeah,
of War 3 implemented, and then you also had the customizable runes as well with the different abilities with the two
yeah,
weapons.
yeah,
And you have Atreus, you providing long range and short range, and his special OP ability of summoning a pack of wolves.
Or
yeah,
whatever. That's also technically like a rune that you can change up though. So it's not just wolves. You can
Yeah,
also like do special like magic and stuff.
who
yeah.
uses anything else but wolves?
I do have a lot of
True.
gripes with the new God of War, but one thing it did get pretty good was the combat. I mean, I know there's
Oh,
also people that don't like it, and they say it's a lot more boring and kind of dulled down than 3 was.
In a kind of way, it kind of was. It's
Yeah, in a way it
yeah,
was, but
I agree. Yes, it wasn't as lacking as the violence we're so used to, but at the same time, that's character development for Kratos. Like he didn't answer with just punch Balder in the face when he came up. Was like, "Who are you?" And he was like, "No, leave."
Yeah. I mean that's a oof, that's a volatile subject to get into. Because
But
yeah, there are some people that have that kind of point of view where it's like, oh well, you know, it is character development. He's older, he's wiser. But then there's also some aspects of the story where you have people who are like, no, Kratos would never do that, even if he was like older and more wizened or whatever.
I mean, he lost his shit when Pandora was killed,
Yeah,
and he lost his shit when his wife and daughter were killed again.
yeah,
He lost his shit when his brother was killed. He lost his Yeah, Kratos has lost his shit a lot, and I understand that. But, trying to see him trying to be a better example for Atreus so he doesn't follow that path of beat the shit out of one and don't think about the consequences. I think that's a better take on the God of War. The new one is great. The old
mm,
ones were great. They're
yeah.
both great games.
I mean,
And it just,
I can't really say I had any like major issue with the new God of War. I kind of enjoyed it. Um, Granted, I have not beaten the entire game yet.
I have
Um,
twice.
I've seen a lot of like the cutscenes on YouTube and stuff, but I haven't played through all of it, so I can't really say all that much on it. But from what I have played, which is like from the beginning to about the part where you get access to that lava area where you can do the
Oh,
training thing,
yeah.
or the combat challenges.
Ah, ah, fuck
Uh,
that. I hated that, but at the same time, I'm like, it's better than the other area. Run around
yeah,
this poison fog for a while, collect these shards. Hey, guess what? There's a Valkyrie in there you have to fight.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
like back to the
What other games had that Arkham Knight?
The new one, Stafu, has come out, or Stinfu, where every time your character gets defeated, he ages, becomes more power. He becomes more. Thing. It's like Arkham and all that. I haven't really checked it out because it was like, oh, you just beat people up. Okay, what's the story? Oh, I just beat people up, throw them into things. All right.
I
hmm,
mean, there's some games that can get away with that like very basic sort of formula with not much story and actually
Yeah.
pull it off really well.
I mean, but they able to. I want them to explain why he ages when is defeated. I understand it's a game mechanic. There's one other game I know that did that, and it was done really well, in my honest opinion.
Mm.
Chronos Before the Ash, which is a prequel to Remnant from the Ashes.
Oh, huh. I do have
Yeah,
Remnant from the Ashes. I haven't played through all of it, but I do have it.
yeah.
Um,
There's a prequel to it, and I was like, every time you died, your character basically got shot out of the tower, had to wait a year, and come back. That was
hmm,
interesting. Like they
yeah.
explained it.
Hmm. I don't know. Maybe they do explain it later on in the story.
Maybe. It hasn't caught my interest.
Yeah.
Oh, Akiba Akiba Strip uses the whole punching and then do a combo to defeat the enemy.
Yeah.
I just looked up and remembered it.
I think with like the main point I would like to get to with regards to how like how Arkham kind of like messed up combat for games for a while is
Mm-hmm.
that companies kind of like took the wrong lessons from that and made combat very simple as
Oh
opposed to
yeah.
combat before like Prince of Persia, God of War, Devil May Cry, Heavenly Sword, and so on, where there was a
Yeah.
combo system and you like go in depth. Like I had this discussion with a family member of mine about where we played Spider-Man PS4 and then Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions because we have a physical copy of the game still.
Hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, and we pointed out like the upgrade system in Shattered Dimensions is much better because it's a combat system and you get to do cool
Yeah.
stuff as opposed in the PS4 game. As much as we like the game, the combat system's very simple and when you're like good at it, even on the hardest difficulty, it really doesn't take all that much to like avoid getting hit as opposed to like Shattered Dimensions or like a Devil May Cry where it actually takes like skill and dodging and know how to like
Oh
use
yeah.
your spider sense and stuff like that.
Yeah. Um, I will also add that I haven't played many of the new ones. Like the newest Assassin's Creed game I played was Syndicate, I believe. But I have heard complaints about how they kind of dulled down the combat system in those games as well.
They
Where
tried to make it more
They did.
like a
It
yeah,
was
Dark
like
Souls. It was like a Dark Souls in a way where they were like they had your parry
Syndicate
system.
is the one where you beat them up and
I
then
know.
they would start
yeah,
like like swinging back and forth and you can finish them off. The
yeah,
idea was that it was to do multiple combo finishers to get higher experience gain.
yeah.
Yeah, and then
I
like
didn't
when
like
you yeah.
Yeah, because didn't I I barely remember playing like the Ezio trilogy. Because I played this back when I was still like very young. But I do believe that the combat in that was more so focused on like planning out routes for assassinations and actually going for more of a stealth gameplay aspect of it. Where like
and
yeah, you
then
could get
you
into big open like sword fights or whatever, but the main emphasis was on the stealth and sneaky
yeah.
assassinations.
Yeah,
Um,
I have the remaster collection now. When I was playing it last week, I went back to it after playing Valhalla, and I was like, okay, yeah, I have to relearn some stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, because I know like even just from playing like Unity and Syndicate, I noticed it was a lot more um kind of combat focused, where you didn't really have the opportunity to just like sneak around and assassinate as much, because it would force you into combat a lot more often. I feel like.
Unity was definitely more stealth based. Like they deliberately made the
Mhm.
combat much harder in that game.
Yeah,
Then
Oh yeah,
Syndicate,
yeah.
they tried to do something else
I
with the
actually
combat.
did.
Then Origins, they did the
yeah.
Dark
I will
Souls thing,
say,
and yeah,
yeah, I will say I did like
You,
Unity's combat and gameplay. I still thought it was
oh,
very good, and
I,
um,
sorry.
yeah, sorry. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's something I kind of picked up on just a little bit, and I feel like it definitely um definitely got worse in like Syndicate and from then on. Because I know I
And then
played Black Flag as well, and I fucking love that game. And even
I
though
do
it
too.
had a lot more like combat focused scenarios, at the same time it did mesh well with the story where it was like you're not playing as an assassin for a good chunk of the story. You're playing more so as like a pirate.
yeah,
Mhm.
So like it was still a bit of Assassin's Creed. You still had like the hidden blades and the gadgets and all that. You could still assassinate and stuff, but like with the shipboarding and like a couple of like the missions where you go in and fight the guys on like the temples or whatever, or like the castles and forts. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, it was still pretty combat focused, but I guess that's kind of the thing where it's like it's not so much about the combat like being more pronounced in these games, like Assassin's Creed specifically, but it's more so of how it's done.
Thing I like about Black Flag's combat compared to the like let's say number three or Rogue and all that is besides the dual wielding was phenomenal. It made sense. You're a pirate, which I fucking love pirate games. I wish they made more pirate games so we can actually customize our ships, and actually board and all that.
Yeah.
It was reminiscences of like the Ezio, the third one, not
Was that the
Revelations,
one?
Revelation.
Wasn't that
Revelations.
the one where you could pick up enemy swords and use them alongside your main sword?
No.
No,
Oh.
no.
He picked up an enemy sword. He would put his away as and use an enemy's,
Oh,
which
okay.
was pretty cool. I honestly thought. Um, they dealed away with the heavy weapons because you're on a pirate ship. You need to be light and nimble to get it done.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I don't know. It's.
And
I'd have to go
sorry,
back and play the Assassin's Creed games,
yeah,
honestly.
that's what was my idea in doing that. I bought them all, but to argue Zanrex's counter argument. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood was the last good AC game. Changed my mind.
A
Black
lot of
Flag Sea
people say that.
Shanties.
Oh yeah,
Black
I
Flag
fucking love those.
Sea Shanties.
I
There you
fucking
go.
love those.
Yeah.
And I
I
also really
listened to
like.
them in the car.
I really liked how they did the fuck the I okay. It's a minor thing, but I like the fact that you could end up getting multiple flintlocks and just start chaining them by having them all on your torso.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah,
pirates
you
actually used to do that. They would actually
yeah.
carry around multiple flintlocks
Because they only
if
shot
they could afford
once.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they
Yeah.
were one
Fun
shot. So,
fun fact: there was a pirate. I can't remember his name who carried 26 flintlock wood pistols on him.
oh my god, really?
He drowned to death because of them.
How do you even manage to carry 26 of them?
Probably multiple satchels
Good
around your
bandolier.
body, on
I guess,
your
yeah, really
leg and
good
stuff.
bandolier.
Yeah.
And then you gotta think about how much fucking pellets, or yeah, like pellets, the pistol rounds that he'd have to carry along with that.
No, the thing is, he had 26. He would shoot one, drop one, pick up an enemies, and just reload that way.
Oh, so he didn't even carry spare ammo on him, or if he did, it was very little.
No, he
He
didn't.
he just. That's funny. Oh my
Oh,
god.
and the combat style, another of Arkham Knight, Sucker Punch's recent release with the Infamous series. They did the whole punching combo and finisher and all that, but they also integrated it with electricity and all that, the different abilities you have. That was interesting. But their least recent game, Ghost of Tsushima, you do have 4 different combat styles and all that, but it was break guard, insta kill kind of deal.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
I
still.
would like to see games like go back to a more varied combat style. But I guess then again, on one hand you can only make the AI so well. But
Yeah.
on another hand, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's nostalgia talking or if it's just like games like the old God of War games, or like fuck, what were your other examples?
Infamous,
Infamous,
Assassin's Creed,
yeah, Assassin's Creed, all that. I don't know if
Stinfu.
they. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Infamous is more so like a third person like shooter kind of, because like it's not really melee
With the
focused. Yeah, it's not prototype. Prototype is more melee focused.
Yeah. The abilities came first, and then melee came second.
Yeah.
I mean, the second one they introduced a melee weapon, so
The amp.
combat
Yeah.
focus was also brought up on that.
Yeah. Lone, what would you say about that subject?
I would say like for a time I would definitely say like Arkham kind of screwed up games combat wise for a bit, where people were just blindly copying it like Mad Max and Beanox's Amazing Spider-Man games. But
yeah.
they're Monolith with their Middle Earth games, and Insomniac with their Spider-Man game. I would definitely say they did a good enough job trying to implement the combat system and make it their own.
Yeah.
Middle Earth clearly doing a better job than most, because it
Yeah.
the way it plays, it is very much like Batman in a way, but it's like there's so much more added to the combat. Granted, my issues with the combat is generally the captain system in Shadow of War, because there are some captain variations that legit only way to beat them is to either like spam attacks or spam certain other attacks, because like there are some combinations that legit like hinder your ability to like combo up or use some of your abilities, because it's like, oh, you can't use this ability, you can't use that ability, oh, they'll adapt to
Oh
this. It's
yeah.
like, yeah.
I definitely remember that. There's one captain in particular I came across while I was trying to raid like a temple or a fortress, and I literally just couldn't do anything but like run up and do like the basic sword attack on him, and I think like one other attack,
Yeah.
because he was like immune to arrows, immune to this element, immune to that element, immune to like dodging over him, immune to
Enraged by
throwing knives. Yeah,
everything.
enraged by everything. I believe was actually one of the things on him too. And
Dear God, you just got a bad roll for that?
yeah, I got fucked.
Invulnerable to
Yeah.
sneak attacks can be
Yeah,
fucking. It,
he was invulnerable to stealth and well, actually no, he wasn't invulnerable to stealth, but stealth was useless because I was inside of that confined. It was like the final like chamber of the temple where it's literally just the
yeah,
boss arena. But he
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah. No.
invulnerable to executions, so I couldn't do the execution on him either.
Uh,
So it was literally no range, no execution, no dodging over him and like trying to freeze him with a hammer or whatever.
Mm.
So
yeah,
I
no.
basically couldn't do like anything but run up to him, whack him with my sword a few times, and then try to dodge away fast as possible. It was
Oh
cancer.
yeah. I believe it. I remember that guy, and now I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Mm.
just summoned bodyguards, and they dealt with him.
Yeah, my bodyguards were not very good at the time. I believe I actually lost one of them to him.
I had the mentally retarded ones, the one you
Oh, you
shun them so
shamed.
much.
Yeah,
I shamed them to retardation.
you give him post-traumatic Down syndrome.
You've been
Uh,
shamed.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, what was the next topic?
Next one was uh manga versus comics, and like Vincent had a lot to say about it, so
Oh yeah,
give it to
I
you.
do. So with the release of old comic books, you remember they were inspiring heroes. Like, oh man, when I grow up, I want to be like Batman, Superman, and all this because these are good guys. These are guys who went out, did good things for the community and all that. And I remember correctly in one comic book series, Superman was help cleaning up a landfill and all that.
Yeah.
Batman was donating money to orphans and all this. But now it's oh, Batman's dating a bi-curious trans guy. Like, wait, you're telling me he's dating an Asian bisexual who's transgendered?
I don't even think Batman would date anyone
No,
and
that's
if
Superman.
oh, Superman, okay.
Yeah.
Uh
And like with the whole Spider-Woman fighting while pregnant, like
oh, yeah, that's definitely one
that
where it's like no.
no. Like
Um
nobody would ever punch her. Then she's like, well, how come the guys aren't punching me? It's because I'm a woman. No, you're pregnant.
even the bad guys don't want to beat a pregnant woman.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Like at
they,
that point
they
that almost just seems exploitive.
yeah, and then they revamped Kingpin's story. Like, dude was just a mob boss who just got swole. That's it.
Yeah.
No superpowers, nothing. He was an info broker as well.
Oh, that's like what they did to fucking it's what they did to Taskmaster in
Yeah,
where like his superpower was literally just photographic memory. He
yeah,
could
that's
remember things really good. And like in the
mm-hmm.
new comics or whatever, or it might have been a new game, but in one of his new like appearances, he's got actually I think they actually changed his gender as well. I think they made it him a
Yeah,
woman.
yeah.
And they made it to where she or he had like Stark Tech armor or something like that.
yeah, and that destroy is like a key component for Miles Morales as well.
Yeah,
The one they're like, oh look, a black Spider-Man. This is new and revolutionary. I was like, no, he's been around since like 2000.
yeah. I kind of like the way Spider-Verse handled it to where at that point at least it's like okay, there's a multiverse and there's just different
And
variations of Spider-Man. They're all basically the
which
same, but like, you know,
which was canon in the stories if you read the Madam Web series with the one chick who was like the head of the spiders and all that.
oh yeah.
She's a dimensional being. She controls like the webs of time and all that. And the Peter Parker from Earth 161, I believe, or 616.
Yeah. But,
He
like,
met her and all that. And he learned that there's multiple Spider-Mans, and that's where you get Gwenpool, all that, because Gwen Stacy was Spider Gwen.
Ghost
Then she
Spider.
became Gwenpool.
okay. Yeah, I mean, at least that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
One thing I would reference is like the new Spider-Man movies. Even though I think they're all right, I kind of wasn't the big fan of the idea of like Peter just straight up idolizing Mr. Stark, this billionaire who lives high above the rest of New York.
Yeah.
Where it's like he wears a Stark Tech suit. He like Tony Stark becomes like his father figure and all this and
Because he
that.
didn't have his father's figure in his life then until Happy showed up, and then he started, listening to Happy.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the whole idea of, like, Spider-Man was that, like, he was literally just some New Yorker dude who happened to get superpowers.
Queens.
Yeah, from Creeds. And he ended up building his own, like, suit. He made his own suits, he made his own
With
web
Harry
shooters and stuff
Osborn's
like that.
technology.
Yeah. Like, he was just a really smart dude who happened to get superpowers.
Yeah, it was an accident.
Yeah. But, like, that's the
No.
whole thing. He was supposed to sort of represent, like, the average New Yorker just trying to help his fellow men
Yeah.
out, you know?
Yeah. It was your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and
Exactly.
it was an amazing. I love that. I'm just waiting for the next big reveal. Oh, you heard of Black Cat, right? Well, now she's black.
Yeah, that would be oof.
Black Cat was always Asian, so you're telling me they're blackwashing an Asian chick now?
Yeah. Well, it's just that's stupid because that's just going off the logic of the word black is in her name, so she's got to be black. Where it's like, no, the name Black Cat is supposed to represent like,
An alley cat.
yeah,
She's a thief. Like that's the whole idea. Black Cat was she was a thief.
yeah. Or if you want to go like
She-
with the Halloween take on it, where it's like bad luck.
Yeah. But the reasons why I love mangas so much, because mangas are superior to comic books. Because first off, Japan doesn't care about Western ideals. They don't care about social justice. They don't care and all that. They tried it. It failed. And they're like, no, we're going to go back to the big titty lollies. You guys just cry about it. We have our big titty lollies.
Jesus Christ. I mean, yeah, you're right. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's like you have like Berserk from fucking Kentaro Miura, and that's Japanese manga.
Yeah.
But then you have like you look over at the American side of things. When was like the last really, really good comic book?
From DC or Marvel, or do you mean in general?
Just in general, like from any company or studio or even just person, like,
There's some
small
good
group.
Conan stuff. Last Ronin, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one, is really good. Shockingly enough,
Oh yeah.
there's some good stuff. Berserker,
Keanu Reeves
yes,
one he
I covered
released
that.
it's extremely good.
That's really good.
Okay.
I did a review of that some time ago. I think it got a couple more issues though, so I haven't been up to date on it. But the first issues were like really good. So like, it's obviously just a mainline DC Marvel stuff that's pretty much dead in the water at this point. Image can also be in that list too, but like it's kind of a indie self-publishing type deal, so it's like 50-50. There's a few good things out of there, like so. You were saying, Vincent?
I did second one. I love self-publishing deals because they're not adhering to the far left, the rabble, black diversity, rabble, black. This guy needs to be black. This needs to be female. Oh, they need to be trans. They need
Image
to be this.
had that.
You can't have any gay slurs. You can't have anything like that.
IDW.
Yeah,
And
all
they
the
basically
classic,
tell them
like,
all.
social justice warrior crap. I remember, like, the funny thing is, the whole reason I got into, like, I guess people would call it, like, the far right side of YouTube.
Was they're pathetically
was
lukewarm, if anything. I'm legitimately
yeah,
baffled that people
yeah,
are
legitimately.
like,
Like
If
oh
anything,
no.
I'm just like
I'm
Continue,
I
Vincent.
yeah,
I'm center right on that idea. Yeah, I don't care what the view
yeah,
far left. Anything
I'm
left
about as
right is
moderate
the
as it
best part.
gets. Like, I'll be honest, straight up there, I'm about as moderate as it gets.
Mm.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's like the whole reason I got into that kind of stuff was the fucking like all those channels that would go against like SJW stuff. Like, there's that one dude that had the cow head. There's of course JSG.
Oh, no bullshit? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Rags.
no bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that dude's terrible. Jesus.
he is. I found out about the shit he was into, up
What
to
happened?
later, and
The dude's a retard, honestly. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. But yeah, it's and that's how come I think the comic book industry is dying. It's because not many people are buying them, and they're turning to Eastern comics. You know, comics that are created by independent developers and all that. It's because they're not trying to shove stuff down your throat. And it's like, yeah, I understand some comic manga, some comic books have a little politics in there. It's because it's there's a manga about a politician who died and got reincarnated underneath Hitler's second regime.
yeah. Oh, you have like fuck it. That's the thing where it's like I heard an example brought up about it's like you have these games nowadays because it's not just comics. Games do it all the time too. Where they
Game studios, it's
yeah, where they
Eastern
try to
names are
push
big.
politics and shit. Um, but it's like you have games that try to push politics and shit, and then you have other games that feature politics, but it's not like the main like thing. It's not like they're trying to push a message or anything. It's more like in the kind of the background of things. Where you have like Metal Gear.
Yeah.
I knew that was gonna
Metal
come
Gear,
up.
the politics was centered and all that, but it was like war is bad, nuclear war is bad. The people who are trying to advocate it are kind of bad. At the same time, you need to be a free thinker for yourself and not fall into the masses.
Yeah, that was the thing where it wasn't really trying to push any particular message other than, just the really basic, like, yeah, war's bad, stuff like that. But it also wasn't doing it in a way that was preachy. It wasn't trying to hammer it into your head.
I
It
think
was more so kind of just conveying a general message, and it allowed for a lot of, like,
It
of
opened
your
up the
own
doors to
personal.
politic discussions. Like,
Yeah. It allowed for a lot of your own personal, what's the word for it? Viewpoints.
I
Or,
would say the first couple numerical ones. I think, as much as I like Peace Walker, like there is an obvious like bullshit pro Che Guevara like talking point like in like one of the tapes where
oh,
Kaz
really?
and Naked Snake like talk about like Che Guevara and they're like, oh yeah, he only like had a couple of guerrilla fighters and now he's like so revered, and I'm like, no dude, shut up, like the dude killed people, like no, he
yeah,
was not a good guy.
Yeah. I guess the
but
lesson of
yeah,
the day is that, you know, everyone can be
don't,
stupid sometimes.
Yeah.
wow.
Wow.
I mean,
What?
after that Villiers situation, he didn't do it again. If you noticed.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about I've been switching over to Japanese game companies more and all that because they're funner to play. There's more, oh, the world's about to end by an evil overlord. We have to stop him because we love this world. Yeah, I can get behind that. Oh, we need to stop the evil, or instead of, Eastern comics, it was like, we need to stop the evil overlord. He said something mean on Twitter.
Yeah, you had those really stupid ass comic lines from like Marvel lately where it was like, "Oh, no, this turtle choked on some plastic.
Oh yeah.
Now I
Like,
gotta go be a terrorist."
Jesus Christ. Like that should tell you the morality of these people, man. They don't have morality. They legit think that going and killing a blue collar like worker just doing his job is a good thing. Just
Yeah,
like
they have a very childish
it's
sense of
very
morality.
childish. It's
it's yeah,
ridiculous. Like you see that in
and
WandaVision, like that's a good
Yeah.
example where like, oh, they'll never know what you sacrificed. Like she didn't like Wanda didn't
Yeah,
sacrifice anything. Her kids didn't
yeah,
exist. She imprisoned
yeah.
people. Kids were getting like they were
She,
starving and pissing and shitting themselves in their rooms because they couldn't get out. It's like, are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
yeah.
She is not the hero of this story.
If
Yeah.
And when
anything,
literally
she's the
confronted about that, she says, "I'm not the ones with the guns because you have people imprisoned, you idiot."
because you took the guns.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I haven't seen WandaVision from what I've
You
heard.
don't need to.
It
You don't
is
need to, dude. It's a waste of time. It's even
like
aged worse because of the Pietro from X Men, the actor who played like Quicksilver in the X Men movies makes an appearance. Many people thought they were going to bring the X Men over. It just ended up being a dick joke. Like his real name was like Ralph Bone. He was just some random nobody, which ages even
Oh.
worse knowing that Spider Man No Way Home out. It's like, oh, the multiverse is a thing. So
well, it's always been a thing.
yeah, so like, why do that?
But
Like,
not in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So
Yeah.
when it comes to the Cinematic Universe in particular, it's like very much a new thing.
Loki and all that other bull. That's the issue in
Yeah.
general. It's like it's always been a thing, but it hasn't been a thing. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's weird because
It
that's the thing
wasn't
how timelines work.
acknowledged.
Because like things that changed in the past that create a ripple and like and so on and so on. It's like when you stop to think about it, it's like it's poorly explained. You're better just not even thinking about it at all. Just enjoy the fireworks.
Pretty much.
Don't think about it. Consume product. Get excited for new product.
Get excited for new
Yeah.
product.
The perfect fucking consumer mindset
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
for these companies. It's exactly what they want people to go into, their movies and their shows and their whatever's
Mm-hmm.
thinking. It's like, oh wow, that special effects shot was really cool. Wow, that decent fight scene was like so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, remember the time when Spider-Man did the thing and he said the funny line?
Hey, remember when
Cool.
Spider-Man beat up that robber because he robbed a fag?
Yeah, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just entertainment industry in general is just it's in
Yeah,
kind of a sad state.
the Eastern ones are. I mean,
Eastern
I still
ones are.
watch that. I love anime. Like, dude, like if I'm looking at some animes that were made back in the day, High School
Mm.
DxD. If that was made in like
That's
America and all that,
that.
that would not fly.
That was the 2000s. That was I wouldn't say that's back in the day, but yeah.
I mean, granted,
It-
even like as much as we like the Japanese shit, even they can screw things up sometimes.
That is true.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
there's
Berserk
some-
anime adaptations.
Berserk anime
yeah,
adaptations, they're over the like they also kind of have their own issues with their like assembly line type creation. Like you check Annie charts, there's a lot of anime series that are essentially just the same show with just different characters. It's like
Yeah.
it was that way for like the high school stuff, and it's that way. Like Shonen had this a lot in the early 2000s to 2010s. Nowadays, it's much isekai stuff,
Yeah.
and
Or
that's yeah,
it's the exact opposite where it's like the same characters but like a completely different show.
yeah.
There's one I watched recently. I believe it was called like Overprepared Hero.
Mm.
The dude gets summoned into another world, and he's just preparation for days on it before going out. It's pretty fun. It's pretty interesting. I hope it gets a second season.
Yeah, it sounds like an interesting concept.
Like these the concept is a goddess picks a hero, the hero gets summoned, they go to a world, they fight the demon lord or the overlord of that world, and if they succeed, congratulations, you get to be a goddess for like a few hundred years more. If you fail, you're punished and all that, and then you got to go fight another demon lord. If you failed that, your godhood is stripped.
Interesting.
Yeah.
On the topic of anime, I will say that I really do kind of wish that more studios would go back to just doing everything or just about everything hand drawn.
Mhm.
Because I've been like kind of looking on YouTube at some like the old animes like back in the day. Um, well, I believe even Cowboy Bebop. Well, you've got that hand drawn style like there's some that it gets to the point where it's like every single grain of sand is accounted for and moved around as it needs to be in like each and every
Yeah.
frame. And it's just it is both like crazy to think about how much time and effort that took,
Yeah.
but
That's like only took like a 6.
the end product is a fucking work of art.
Oh yeah. Um, I remember I was rewatching Helsing, and I keep forgetting this is all hand drawn.
Oh yeah, Hellsing's a great example of it. Yeah, like there are things that technology has helped with anime quite a bit, but at the
Yeah.
same time I feel like it's also been kind of a huge hindrance because like especially with the CGI stuff, it isn't at that level yet to where it's like legitimately on par with like hand drawn animation and the
If I
amount of
remember,
detail
Depends
and
on what show we're
artistic.
talking about. Like, I
yeah,
get what you mean.
uh,
Like, a Jin is a good example of. I think the animation in that's really good, and Knights of Sidonia has like really good like CG animation. So, but there are some like real bad ones. Like Berserk 2016 is a good example of that.
Yeah,
So I think it's
Dragon's
just.
Dogma.
Oh yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I
Yeah.
will give
Uh,
full disclosure. Um, I am basically just speaking my mind here. I am no expert on any of these subjects by any means, so if I get something wrong, I will accept it, no problem. Just let me know.
or cultured, you uncultured swine.
Yes, I am an uncultured swine.
But one anime I remember correctly that uses the blend of CG and hand drawn was Goblin Slayer. Actually,
Oh yeah, Goblin Slayer did
yeah,
do that.
Goblin Slayer. Every time Goblin Slayer wasn't fighting, him himself was CG'd, but when he was fighting, everything was hand drawn.
Yeah, yeah. It was done pretty well too. I There were very few scenes I actually noticed that he was actually like CG.
Yeah, is the one scene, the one that steers clear of me is when he's walking with Cowgirl and he just kind of goes up and down while she kind of bobs.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like you
one
get
that,
to
that stuck out to me.
like, oh yeah, he's CG, but when he's not wearing his armor and all that, he's hand drawn. When he's fighting, he's hand drawn.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it really just depends on how you actually utilize it. So, what are we talking about next?
Nah. Um. I guess like this next segment though I might might talk about this more maybe in a future thing, but like talk about like Daniel Craig's Bond era. I probably should have prepared about this one a little bit more, but this is just me like spitballing a bit. Like his era could have been much better, honestly. Like
Who
uh,
and who? I don't know who we're talking about right now.
Daniel Craig's
I
James Bond's era.
Oh, okay. Isn't the one before like Spectre and Fallout?
What? Fallout's Mission Impossible, dude.
Sorry. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I will also say this is another subject I'm quite uncultured on because I don't believe I've actually seen a single full-length James Bond movie.
I've seen
Uh,
like all the old ones with like,
I haven't
uh,
even seen the old ones.
oh, that's fine.
It's like
uh,
that's fine, it's okay,
uh,
nothing wrong.
Sean Connery, that's who.
yeah, Sean Connery. It's like I've watched like all the films, including all the non-canon ones not made by Eon. And like obviously like Connery's like one of my favorites though. I have a really like mass soft spot for like Pierce Brosnan's era. That's the Golden Eye all the way up to Die Another Day.
Yeah, I haven't seen those all the way through. I remember them.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, we could save this for another time. If you want to talk about something that else is dying, that women have ruined, we could talk about Doctor Who.
Yeah, I guess I can like dedicate a full like stream to Bond and like really like get in depth. We'll have to like get other people like.
Yeah, that seems.
Who knows? Yeah,
The
I'll have
whole-
to prep with this like rather than just spitball it though because I have a lot to say
Yeah.
and like. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's fine.
Speak your mind. Speak your mind.
so
I
Go ahead.
lost my train of thought, but that's fine. None of this shit is prepared, guys. We just spitball this shit.
Yeah.
yeah,
Things will get better over time as we get more used to it.
hopefully, yeah.
But yeah, with the Doctor Who situation, the latest Doctor, right? I can't remember her name, and I
Jodie
don't
Whittaker?
care. Thank you, Jodie Whittaker. She has lost the viewership of 11 million views since last season.
Yep, and it's to continue.
It's
continuing to
declining at a
decline.
rapid pace.
Yep.
They're talking about already replacing her.
Yeah.
Didn't The Witcher season 2 lose a lot of views as well?
I'm not shocked. I mean, I don't think Netflix ever drops their view counts, but I think it's kind of obvious
They
that
don't.
that like Witcher like lost a lot of like view counts. Like they didn't even pay attention to the lore. They didn't even pay attention to the like to the own books. Like they kill off characters that they were supposed to be alive. They like a Witcher character like turns into like a Leshen, and when they're not supposed to, it's stupid.
It's so stupid. When that happened, I was like, okay, they killed off Eskel by the most stupidest memes.
Yeah,
He turned into a Leshen. That's not how that works.
that's not how that
Yeah.
works.
Because Witchers 1 aren't even able
They're
to
immune.
the effect.
They're
Yeah,
immune to
they're
that.
immune to like all the monster plagues, and I believe even like normal human plagues
Mhm.
and illnesses. And 2, that's not even how Leshens work. Like they don't infect and turn other people into Leshens like that.
No, it's nature's wrath given form.
Yeah. I just feel bad for
Henry.
Henry.
Yeah.
Because he keeps like he's obviously very passionate in his appreciation and enjoyment of these franchises
Mhm.
like The Witcher. He's a huge nerd. Like he literally paints 40K minis as like a
Yeah.
hobby.
No,
Yeah.
Build his own PC. Like I'm almost convinced that dude is cursed. Like he was born in the wrong era, dude. If this was like the early 2010s, he would be everywhere. He's easily one of the capable of being one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. He should be in everything, but he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's obvious he like knew his Witcher lore and had a really good appreciation and respect for the franchise as well, because like they literally called him the Witcher Bible on set because he would always have to correct them and like, or at least try to correct them about
That would
certain
be
things like
that would be a title I would fucking plaque out. The Witcher Bible.
But yeah, like they tried to make the fucking Roach's death scene like some basic ass, Marvel humor, funny
You are my
moment.
favorite Roach. I read that and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? It's like, thank
Yeah.
God I didn't film that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
No. Carol
yeah.
always bides with his horses. He tries to keep them long living.
Yeah. And like Henry literally like had to put his foot down on that and like say like, no, we're not doing that. This is how I'm doing it. And then he went and did his own take. And when you see that compared to what they were planning to do, it is very clear which version of that was better.
Oh,
And that was Henry's version.
Oh yeah. They just let Henry. It's like, okay, Henry, this is the monster you're fighting. We're gonna have it out there. You go do your own thing, Witcher boy.
They could honestly
Give
just
him,
let him do that. Yeah, like just let him improv that shit because he could probably do a better job than the writers could.
give him a real sword. Give him a real monster to fight. Tell him, yeah, you can do this shit. Go at it, Witcher boy. He starts actually casting shit.
Uh, but yeah, I honestly think that if they just had Henry improv all of his shit, like gave him just a basic synopsis of what's going on, and then just have him improv from there, he could have probably done a way better job than the writers.
Then I'm just like, if they continue on with The Witcher and if they fuck up the Butcher of Blaviken scene, I'm gonna fucking rage. Like, no, you don't fuck that up. That's a crowning moment for Geralt. That is his. People realize you don't fuck with that man.
Yeah, it literally becomes his fucking title. Like, or one of his titles, at least in the games. I haven't read through all the books yet, but
The
I know at
Butcher
least
of
in the games.
Blaviken is his magnum opus scene.
Yeah.
He's defending a town by hordes of bandits on a bridge,
Yeah,
and he wins.
it's his fucking 100-man Slayer moment.
Yeah.
More like 500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were trying to seize this town,
Yeah.
and he stood his ground.
Yeah.
It's even by the end, it's like more apparent that they just want to do game stuff. You can just tell they're not interested in doing the books because they're setting up the Wild Hunt, which is a video game thing. That's only a thing in like Witcher 3. Well, technically, I think aren't they mentioned?
1 and 2.
Yeah, Witcher 1 and 2.
They are mentioned in the books. If at the end of the books Geralt dies and his soul is brought to the Wild Hunt to join them because of a deal he made to get Ciri and Yennefer back.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yennefer died. Geralt died. Ciri is alive because of Geralt's sacrifice for that.
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
spoilers, but
Spoilers, but Geralt. Well, in the games they brought Geralt back. Like Geralt's alive, and they retcon that in the first game because the games are sequels to the books in a way.
Yeah, they don't really retcon it. They explained it that Ciri gave herself up to bring back Geralt and Yennefer. That's how come he's running to Kaer Morhen with no memories, because he was technically still alive with the whole alive in spirit. Let's say in spirit, alive with the Wild Hunt, and they brought him back.
yeah, but I get what you mean. Where it's like the Wild Hunt weren't really like an antagonistic force in the books.
It was
They
a
were more
force of
just, like,
nature.
Yeah, more just like a force of nature. Whereas like in the games, they're like an actual like antagonist.
Yeah, I see what Netflix is trying to do. They're trying to grab us gamers and go, look, the Wild Hunt. Don't you guys love the Wild Hunt? The Witcher 3 sold over 43 million copies. Look, we have the Wild Hunt in here.
But at the same time, it's also like they're not even keeping faithful to that because they're doing a lot of Games of Thrones type shit where they focus way too much on the politics, like the in game, like the in lore politics,
Yeah.
and like
Okay,
all
we
like,
get
these
it.
other characters and shit. Where it's like, no, Witcher in both books and games has
Was
always
neutral,
just been
done.
focused on Geralt and like Yennefer and Ciri.
That's it.
And maybe like one or two other side characters for some brief amounts of time.
Yeah, just like what like Wally said. on one of his-
Vesemir.
Yeah, one of his-
Vesemir, yeah.
Vesemir, yeah. Just like what Lolly said on one of his streams. Sorry for plugging, but like he's right. Like whenever in the books, like when we ever get to like the mage like stuff, like it's always played as they're stupid and they don't know what they're doing and they always make things worse. Like meanwhile in the show, literally
They don't. The Sorcerer's Lodge is fucking retarded. It's
Yeah.
a bunch of female sorcerers going, we should rule the world with magic and all this, and we
And
can do
Geralt
whatever
literally
we
telling
want.
them they're idiots. Yeah.
Magic.
Yeah, that was something that was featured a bit in season 1 of The Witcher, which I actually kind of enjoyed season 1.
It was
but
at a minimal
mainly just
level.
for the site, mainly just for the fight scenes.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Okay.
nowhere near as how they're portrayed in season 2, where they're like given their entire like subplot when they're the least interesting aspect of the world.
Oh,
Oh,
they had their own entire fucking subplot in season 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh boy. Yikes.
Yikes indeed.
Yeah.
It's we're going to war with the elves. Me, don't do that. You'll die. Oh no, we've been vanquished by the elves. Okay. Oh no, the elf got it. Let me summarize the season 2 of the Sorcerer of the Lodges. 2 bitches walking through a forest, found a group of elves. The elves capture them and tell them, "Hey, we should kill them." They all have the same dreams with 3 different people wearing 3 different color cloaks. In the morning, they talk about it and they realize, oh, you must be talking about our god. Okay, let's take these 2 bitches into the dark caves. Okay. Oh, we accidentally released an evil into the world. Great. That ain't gonna bite us back in the head. Oh, the elf queen is pregnant. Congratulations. Let's go to Nilfgaard to hold this childbirth. Oh no. One guy come back who killed elves decides to kill the baby elf to start a war. Elves lose their minds. Leaves Nilfheim. Everyone is shocked. Pikachu face. What? What happened? Elf baby dead? Elves have no reason to stay here. Elves leave.
Yeah, that sounds pretty dumb. That fucking what? Like,
Yeah. Yep.
I can't wait until they explain how that one bitch is blind.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
She's blind because she had her eyes gouged out for magic. What?
Yeah.
And she can turn into an owl, which is funnier.
wait, aren't owls known for their like really good eyesight?
That's the joke.
That's the joke.
Oh my
Books.
fuck. Okay.
Yeah, I know. There was a sorceress who's bound into an owl form. She could change independently. That's how come in like season 2 they were like this owl would just randomly show up. That's her. That's the sorceress who's fucking blind.
Okay. Yeah, I have the entire fucking Witcher series. I just haven't found the time to actually read them yet.
Son of a bitch.
I know. People are gonna be mad at me. But yeah, I do definitely plan on reading them all in full, back to back, like at some point.
And you're gonna hate how they portray elves in the Netflix series, but you have to understand Geralt understands the elves on a fucking spiritual level.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Because they're both signed by society and all that.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Like if I remember correctly, they in the books they made one quote, like one subplot, like quote and all this, an elven witcher.
Elven Witcher.
There was only one. And it was just a side note.
Oh.
And they can't even confirm, like the creator won't confirm if there's been an elven witcher.
Oh.
You would have to realize how broken that would be. How powerful that witcher is. Elves can live for 1,000 years. The oldest witcher we've ever seen is Vesemir, and he was running on his 3rd century.
Yeah.
While Geralt was on nearly his 1st century.
Yeah, he's like, what is he, 130?
He's 95.
95, okay.
Well, Vesemir is like 386 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elves have ridiculous lawn spans. Now just put that with a Witcher lifespan, the slow aging, the slow mutation, and all those. You have an assassin like no tomorrow.
Neat.
So he's Dowd from Dishonored, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to read the book soon.
Oh, yeah. And if you read the books, you realize that Ciri becoming a Witcher and the ending of number 3 is the most canonical and the most appreciated ending.
Nice. Yeah, Lone definitely tagged this stream with spoilers, and like an edit after this is done.
Oh, damn, yeah, I should probably do that. Well, I mean, if we're talking about the books, they've been out for a good while.
I know,
20 years.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's kind of like spoiling Berserk, where even though it's been out for a good while, it's still one of
Uh,
those things where it's like, gotta give people time to get into it.
all
Yeah.
right.
Hashtag spoilers for The Witcher.
I'll just do okay. Spoilers
Oh, could we talk
for.
about politics for a second?
No.
Yeah. Oh,
No?
damn, that's too long. Crap.
Fuck politics.
I was mainly just gonna go on about the recent
What?
Biden handing out like the $30
Oh,
million taxpayer fucking crack
35
pipe and
million.
needle.
Yeah, the crack. I told my mom that, and she's like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, Biden's handing out crack pipes again. What is this? The 80s?"
You're right? Yeah. I couldn't fucking believe it at first. I had to actually like go
Oh,
through and do thorough fucking searches on the internet just to make sure this wasn't some just random
and it
bullshit
was like,
story.
no, he didn't say he's handing out crack pipes. He's handing out safety crack pipes.
Yeah, in safety heroin needles. Because yeah, let's spend taxpayer money on making sure that crackheads and druggies don't get infections due to their
No, no,
poor
no,
life
no,
choices.
no, 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 not that. Not. It doesn't matter. They're gonna give it to underdeveloped neighborhoods. So they're gonna give
Yeah,
them to black and Latinos.
yeah, which
What is this? MK Ultra again? MK Ultra 2, the Electric Boogaloo, Biden's crack pipe.
it's just it's like the whole thing where it was like the whole drugs in the inner city thing that they got onto was it Reagan for?
Yeah,
That was
Ronald
Yeah,
Reagan.
Reagan.
Yeah.
yeah. It's basically just that part two.
It's the reckoning.
It's the reckoning.
No, it's the druggening.
Pretty much. Like it's so
But
fucking stupid.
can we go back to what Biden has said? No amendment is absolute.
No, don't go with this meme again.
Okay. Calvin Candy from the
I'm
Django
just picturing
Unchained.
the Yorks. Looks like slavery is back on the menu, boys.
Looks like slavery's back.
Yeah. It's like, no, President Biden, that's not how the fucking amendments work. They
Oh, so
literally had
that's
to make an amendment to nullify a previous amendment. They couldn't just get away, like, take it away.
yeah, no. Since the Second Amendment is nullified, that means I can own my fully automatic Tommy gun substation gain with a 100-round drug magazine with exploding tip 45s.
It means I can have a medicinal M1 Abrams and no one can tell me otherwise.
And when he said it's not for cannons, hi, Puckle gun would like to say something different. My warship cannons would like to say different. My revolving belt fed musket would like to say something.
I'm sorry, what the fuck? Revolving
Belt fed
belt fed
musket.
musket.
Yes, it was
You
a
gotta-
thing.
You gotta show me a fucking picture of that.
I have to
Because
go
I
back
can't
and
even
look for.
imagine that.
Just imagine a belt fed musket that has a rotating chamber to rotate the belt as you pull the trigger to fire. It is the precursor to the Puckle gun.
What the fuck?
And since we couldn't have cannons, I'm gonna have a Gatling gun, a rotating chamber Gatling gun, because that was invented in 1886 by Dr. Gatling.
So that's why it's called a Gatling gun.
Yep.
Huh.
And he was from Utah.
Of course.
A Mormon designed the Gatling gun.
Oh my god.
You gotta shoot those engines. You gotta do it in style.
It's like the thing I saw in Forgotten Weapons where it's like they use normal bullets for, you know, just whatever type of people, normal people, whatever, you know, whoever they were fighting. And then they use these square bullets which were said to cause much more pain and damage for specifically the Turks.
Uh, Speaking about forgotten things of the past and the Turks,
Oh boy.
Vladimir the Impaler. He is one of
Uh-huh.
my icons.
Why?
The dude impaled a baby to its mother and left her there. The Turk who saw that wrote it as the most terrifying thing he's ever seen.
Well, fucking yeah! Like,
Well, yeah, no kidding.
no fucking shit,
I'm
Sherlock.
picturing his journal. 2:38. Had a nice cup of coffee, staring at these heathens. 2:49. The heathen army advances upon them. 2:48. Well, shit. Saw this guy impale a baby to its mother. Day's ruined.
Uh, f- uh, how could it not be?
That's like my school is very concerned about me when I said Vlad the Impaler is one of my successors, and I inspired to be
Well,
like him.
I'm concerned about you.
I'm not gonna go around impaling people. I mean, maybe, who knows? If you see me on the news.
Jesus Christ.
That was a joke, people.
I know, but still, just the fact he said that and went with that. It's like, oh boy.
Let's get real. His shit got shit done.
I mean, yeah, but that's like saying there's no witnesses if everyone's dead.
There aren't.
Like, yes, you're technically right, but do the memes really justify the end? Like,
Yes, the memes justify the ends. From where you're standing, it looks like a bad case of luck.
oh my god. Ay. Well, Lone, I would like to hear what you had to say about the James Bond thing, because you were starting up
Me
to
too.
say that, but then we kind of got sidetracked.
I don't want to say we got sidetracked. I would say because like Vincent hasn't watched that many. You haven't watched any of them. I might like see if I can like set up something where I can get someone who knows their stuff because I know my stuff and I have a lot to say about it and I rather like work off someone
Yeah.
else rather than just say stuff like myself, you know.
Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, I can understand that.
That and I've like been wanting to work on a critique for a good while though, but it's like getting a time and I rather just do a live stream about it rather than write the script for it.
Yeah,
Yeah, sounds good.
I totally agree. Like, I'm sorry, I'm an uncultured swine when it comes to British movies, but something about British movies inside me watching them kind of irks something. Enough to where I have to throw some tea over a board.
Overboard.
Yeah, and there's no peers where I live.
Okay.
Mm,
I don't know. I feel like, you know, the Brits they've made some all right stuff. They made some decent stuff.
there's some good stuff. There's some good TV. The miniseries The Bodyguard that stars
Elementary.
what?
Elementary is a good series.
Well, I don't know. Is Elementary even British? That's on ABC though.
Yes, it
Uh,
is.
it's a collab. I guess it's because it takes place in New York. So I
Hmm.
guess that counts. BBC Sherlock I liked for the first three or so seasons. Um, Doctor Who for a good while was good till like
Yeah, the whole.
I
Yeah.
went like around the 12th Doctor. I won't say Doctor 13. I'll say Doctor 12 around at some point it started to get bad. Like there were some good episodes with him. The actor playing him was good, but like the writing got really crappy.
Yeah, I can
And
understand that. Cause I know like I haven't watched again the Doctor Who at all because I'm uncultured swine. But I do specifically remember like around the time I was still pretty young, I remember hearing a lot of good stuff about it. People really liked the show. But then, like, it was weird because as I got older, people started having more and more of a negative opinion on it until eventually just, like, no one was talking about it anymore.
It was mostly decline in quality. From what I'm guessing, obviously, like the show got really big around Doctor Ten. That's David Tennant's Doctor. That was when
Right.
it got really big over here in the States, and a lot of like American people like got into it, and he's like a lot of people's like favorite Doctor for good
Yeah.
reason. The writing was good, and he was generally like a really good portrayal of the character. So, and obviously as time gone on, and now we're at Doctor like 13. Obviously, like no one's watching the show.
13th Doctor. No,
Yeah,
because Matt. It was David Tennant, then Matt Smith. Who the fuck was the 12th
Doctor
Doctor?
12 was what's his name? Like I don't remember his name. Let me go. Doctor Who. Doctor. All right. Peter Capaldi, that's his name. He was the thinker in the Suicide Squad movie. Peter Capaldi, that's
Oh
his
wait,
name.
yeah.
Yeah, and then it was Doctor Karen. That's 13th Doctor.
I don't think that Doctor has its license. Can I follow against her against the impersonating a doctor?
Hmm.
I think it's I don't know how many years you get for impersonating a doctor. I do think it's a hefty one though.
Well, it's malpractice and
Yeah,
all
it's
that.
malpractice. So
Yeah. Has there ever actually been an episode of Doctor Who where the doctor actually had to do something doctory?
Yes,
maybe.
actually, with Matt Smith
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
and David Tennant, like they get stuck in a quarantine hospital and all that, and it's pretty funny.
yeah, I was gonna say, because you could do something pretty cool with that. I'm glad they took advantage of it.
Oh yeah. Are you a doctor? Yeah, I'm a doctor. I'm the doctor.
Um, oh yeah. You guys got any thoughts on the new Dying Light? Dying Light 2?
I
I
haven't played
haven't
it.
played them.
I haven't played Dying Light
I
2 yet.
okay. I haven't played it either. I got it for free because PlayStation has a neat little thing where if you add someone else's account onto your PlayStation and they have like downloaded games off PlayStation Store or whatever, you
You
can
can
just get them
download
for
them
free. Yeah.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
long as their account is active on your account.
Yep.
yeah.
Uh,
I should know. I take advantage of that with my little brother.
oh yeah, I take advantage of it with a buddy of mine
Yeah,
from
it's a
back where I
family
used to
type
live.
system. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. Um it's had mixed reviews from what I've seen.
Oh,
Some
let me
people
guess.
really like it, and some
From
people think that like some people don't like it.
from
Let
the
me
people
guess.
that
It's the
don't
Dark
like it,
Souls of zombie games.
I
from the
wouldn't even
people that
say
don't like
that.
it, it's just dumb journals that don't know how to play video games really. Like the criticisms are just like, oh, it's an RPG mechanic. It's like, so what? It's
Oh,
like
so it's really just dumb
it's
journals.
just dumb journals at this point. It's like,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. See, that makes a bit of sense because I
I think.
remember like the devs on that game, they had like a couple Discord discussions or whatever, talking to like the community, and they legit said like, look, we're not being like delayed, we're not holding it back or anything like that. We just want to make sure that we actually get everything polished and provide the best experience
Oh
so
yeah.
that we ain't just rushing this shit out like so many other game companies do. And I saw that and I was like, okay, that sounds like really good news. Like I
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I think the reason why Cyberpunk got such bad reputation was because people were demanding it now and then and all that.
Yeah, and you saw that with Dying Light 2 a bit too, where like in the Discord discussions and stuff, people were accusing them of like what's taking so long? Is it getting delayed? Oh, it's going to be awful when it comes out, blah, blah, blah. Which, on one hand, I can understand because it's kind of become a running theme in the games industry, but it does seem like the Dying Light devs were actually trying their damnedest
Oh
to
yeah.
provide a good product at launch, which I really respect because
Oh yeah.
not enough game companies do that anymore.
I'm not blaming the game companies. I'm blaming the developer, the publishers, and all that pushing these games out. It's
Oh yeah, that's
like,
another
oh
big
yeah, we
problem.
need 6 more months to finish this game. We already set a release date. Great, thanks.
Yeah.
With Mass Effect Andromeda, I would say that's an extremely good example. The EA wanted their money now. They wanted it out. BioWare was like, hey, give us some time.
Yeah.
There was more issues with that game, to be honest. Though, like the
Yeah.
scripting was terrible. The storytelling was terrible. It's like a lot of crap was wrong with the game. Like the glitches were just pretty much icing on the cake at that point.
Yeah.
And EA has a
No,
massive
the
track
reason why
record.
the story was so terrible, they wanted fully explorable worlds spanning like huge maps and all that, and EA told them tone it down, bring it down to 4 planets.
It kept getting shorter and shorter as time went on.
So what they wanted to go with like a No Man's Sky approach
Kind of.
Yes, without the infinite possibility
without the
universes.
infinite. Yeah.
It was these planets are set. These ones have biodiversity gnomes. It's like, oh, this one's planet, this one's on fire. There would have been a whole weather state system, a day and night cycle on them.
Okay. Yeah, that's something that would take like fucking years to
Yeah,
develop.
Andromeda was in developed since 2012.
Yeah. Like what I don't get right is why do these publishers try to go, you know, with these huge fucking like projects and shit and ambitions when like after the game has already been announced? Or do they
Um,
even do it after the game has been announced?
They
Is it
usually
like
do it mid development. This happens a lot, really.
okay,
Halo
yeah,
2 is a good
why
example of
not?
this, and Metal Gear Solid 5's, well, I won't say,
an extremely good,
yeah.
Yeah,
good.
I was gonna say why not do that at the start of development?
They usually do is they just either run out of time, run out of money, or they just have to cut stuff. This happened, like,
Oh,
yeah, like I said, happens a handful of times, and a handful of games will legit have some of the stuff like in the filing still. Like a good example is
yeah,
Crash Twinsanity. Like there was gonna be like another whole like world, and like they literally break the fourth wall. Actually, like Cortex like tells you like, oh, we have two. There was supposed to be two, but we ran out of time. It was like they legit ran out of time, so they had to push like that other world. You only had like the main world, and you had like the other dimension. There was going to be another dimension, and there was going to be like a ton of like other levels where you get to go into Cortex mind and all this other cool stuff that's just left on the cutting room floor. Which and now that and because the game was like rushed as it was, is why the game was very buggy at launch. Well,
gotcha.
it is buggy still. It just depends on which copy you get.
Okay.
About that. Filling a hole in my wall.
Hole in your wall?
Hole in my wall. I got a new poster coming in. I'm excited.
Cool.
Better not be a glory hole.
Oh god, no. The hole's too small.
I don't know, man. Some guys they're pretty
Are you sure
unfortunate.
those? Are you sure those are those guys?
Yeah, but
Of
yeah,
course
I
not.
think that's about all I
Yeah.
got to add for today.
I
I need
I
to
know.
need to go culture myself.
All right. Might close this down. You okay with that?
Yeah.
All right, I'm fine. I can't wait until the highlights of this stream and the last streamer go up.
The highlights for the last one are gonna come up. I'm gonna check the scheduling again. I think it's either later today or tomorrow. It gets scheduled throughout the
Awesome.
week. So yeah.
Because I want to hear myself eating chips. I'm terribly sorry about that. It's like I got a new mic and I sound so much clearer.
Yeah, that's fine. That's great.
Yeah, I'm going to be trying to get a new mic sometime soon.
I went to GameStop and bought Razer headphones, $60. That's what I'm using right now.
Cool.
You
I'm
don't
gonna
hear
try
me
to
say.
get an actual like mic stand and mic setup and all that. Give me a decent
Oh,
end mic.
yeah. My room is too small for that.
Yeah. I have just enough space, but that's because I have like literally 2 desks next to each other.
I got a 12 by 15 room and I have a desk in it.
Yeah. I have like literally I have a Dremel mounted next to my game setup for my because like the desk next to mine is basically where I do all my hobby projects and arts and crafts
Oh,
and
that's
shit.
cool.
Yeah. So I just have a fucking Dremel hanging there at the moment.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, talk to you guys later. See you sometime this time next week.
Yep.
I mean, I do like the 3 people. I do like the 2 people with us. If 4's kind of pushing it, 5 is just a disaster, and 7
Yeah,
is just autism.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
we're nowhere near the level that like I would say like I hate making comparisons, but like EFAP is where they can have like up to 10 people, but like each of them is like used to each other. They all like
Mhm.
have a good idea of each other's like inflections and they know when each other's about to talk. And I think we just need to get used to each other. We just need to get used to each
Yeah.
other's like speech
Yeah.
patterns and stuff like that, though.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we're still in the beginning, but like, which is fine. I like a lot of people like have like designs and concepts that they just never get to, and I'm just happy I just got to mine like already. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I tell people at work I'm part of a podcast, and like, really? I was like, yeah, every Wednesday, you know.
Mm. Yeah, and then that's the nice thing about starting off, with a small amount of subscribers and people who watch. It's like you have time to actually get things rolling and get things like improved and just like start doing things well before, you end up having a whole audience there to witness your fuck ups
Yeah.
along the way.
Yeah.
yeah,
Isn't Count Dankula part of a podcast he does like with the
Tism
quartering and
and
bearing?
Bearing, yeah, Tism, the incredible salt mine,
Yeah.
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 Don't they have like 1 million subscribers and they don't advertise it?
Yeah, they don't. Shockingly enough, it's like very minuscule.
Oh.
Shockingly enough.
I mean, if it's a new thing, that could be why. They could be like,
It's
Uh,
been
I just like,
around for a good while. I would say like a year or two, I think.
oh,
no,
okay,
they've been running it for like a year and a half now.
Yeah, yeah,
oh,
something like that. They just don't like praise it and talk about like in a massive way. It's like
oh,
not to sound like a dick or anything like that. Like especially the way that like, they have it set up. If you like know their thumbnails and how they just have like a regular background is just them talking. It's like the image you're
Yeah, like
looking at is just like a barbecue like image, like with a few
yeah,
anime
like a
characters.
gender bent.
yeah. I do actually really like your stream background. Not to suck your dick here, but like, I like it. They got
I do
the
shit.
little cyberpunk car,
Yeah, yeah. I
and
mean,
it's
I like to
animated,
have like
which,
my own, because like it. I was like thinking, okay, what's the best way of putting my like design or identity on this without using my face? Like as much as I took a lot of inspiration from guys like EFAP and like Neurotic
and just some guy.
and like just some guy, like I want to like use that to my full potential and I just edit it like a bit, like a chill chat, like the first opening. I just edited a bit and I think it's like perfect now. It's just
Yeah,
Yeah,
like the thumbnail in the corner, chat, background image, and like, and if I need to, either
yeah,
like put up a game or put up the browser so I can show an article or something. So
yeah. Oh, if you need gameplay footage, I have a YouTube channel. I do stream on that. If you want to download those videos and use them, that's fine with me. You have my permission.
awesome. Just I'll be sure to like DM you or link it, like in
I
case if
already
I need
linked
it.
it. It's in YouTube announcements. The one I streamed, it was me yesterday, called "The Power of the Sun," and that was me doing Bolt of Glass with a bunch of retards.
Awesome. All right, I'll be
yeah.
sure to do that.
I fell hard out of Destiny 2. Like I liked it when I first got into it because it literally had just went free to play. But
I bought it.
oh yeah, well you must.
So
I don't understand how you're not even more like miffed about it than me, because didn't they? Well, no, not didn't they? They got rid of like all the DLC content from like the original
they
story with like the Red Ward to like
no,
all the
they
way up
didn't
to
get rid of it.
Forsaken.
They basically revamped the story now. If you start off with a new character, you don't experience the Red War because the Red War was like exclusive to within like 6 months of release because that was the whole story behind it. And if new players experience the Red War, the idea of the concept is your guardian done. Your guardian loses his power, regains new powers. That was the whole idea of the Red War. The
Okay, I
Red
can get
War,
that, but they literally just did Destiny 1's intro again.
yeah, yeah, because the Red War is supposed to be like a very sentimental. The guardian is dead.
Okay.
And like the whole the light is dead.
Okay, but what about the
No.
rest of the what about the rest of the DLC content like Osiris and
Oh, you
Forsaken?
can still play. You could play those right now.
Yeah, but it's like a one-time deal, isn't it? And they took out all like they vaulted or took out all the rewards you can get from it.
No,
Um
I've been playing. I played Season of the Splicer, which is like season 14 content last night.
yeah, but that's
Yeah.
new season content. Where it's
Yeah.
like they took out all the old like DLC content and stuff
Oh,
in
there was no
order
DLC content. Forsaken is the first DLC, and they haven't taken that out. I played the campaign the other day.
no, there was the Osiris DLC.
Yeah, that's part of Forsaken.
Mm, was it?
The way where you go to the moon and all that. You
No,
have to
that
fight
was
the dream.
Shadowkeep. That was
Yeah,
Shadowkeep. Yeah. I thought it went like Shadowkeep and then there's the Osiris one I forget the name of.
there's
And
no
then it was
Osiris one.
Forsaken. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
You go to Mars and you have to fight off the Vex and you do try time traveling shenanigan shit.
No, they haven't
Or
been.
not Mars, but Venus, I think. Or
Yeah,
whatever the name was.
there's three DLCs: Forsaken, Shadowkeep, and New Horizon, right? Or the Frozen one.
No, there. I'm telling you, there was the Osiris one. It had its own storyline and everything with Osiris. Basically, he was trapped in like a time vortex thing. You have to go there, find out what happened, and like fight off Vex and shit. It was definitely like the most basic of the DLCs, but I'm pretty sure it was still its own DLC, or at least like its own like season content thing.
If it's a seasonal content, that makes sense because they revamp those every new DLC. Like
Okay.
February 22nd, season 14, 15, well, 13, 14, 15 are getting bolted done.
Okay.
So all
But
that content,
what I don't get is like why didn't they just go with like making a Destiny 3 with the whole like because they literally said the reason for vaulting all of this was just to like reduce file size so that they could add the new stuff in.
yeah, that makes sense. Like they don't want to they don't want to be like Warzone, where you have 100 gig game and you can't access like half the stuff.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is why would they get rid of old DLCs that many players paid for
No,
just
they didn't get rid
to
of any of the DLCs. I'm looking it up right now. There's only 3 DLCs.
yeah, and they took them out of the main game. They're quote unquote vaulted, which means they're you can go back and experience them again like one time if you had the DLC. But that's only if like you create a new guardian. You can't like do any of those activities again with an old guardian. Or yeah.
From what I'm looking at from the actual Wikipedia post, there's only been 3.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Um, but even with
Forsaken's been out since 2000. The first was Curse of Osiris, which was followed by Warhammer, but that was small expansion packs. You didn't have to buy those; those were given out for free, and they
okay.
were a limited time thing.
Okay. But then what about
Year two begin. Yeah, the one you're looking for is Curse of Osiris, where you do time travel and all that.
okay, yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah,
But what about
it's,
with
it's,
like
it's
Shadowkeep?
no. Well, basically, what's happening is they're getting rid of the islands bring something new in. I don't know what they're doing. I have to wait and see because
Oh
I
yeah,
know
that was the other thing.
the
They took
Tangled
out.
Shore.
Yeah, they took out the. They're going to take out the Tangled Shore if they haven't already. They took out Nessus, I believe it was called.
No, Nessus
Um.
is still there. I was just
Oh,
on it.
okay. But what was the
Yeah,
one that
the
had? What was the one that had the crashed ship on it? Or no, it was the one that had a lot of Vex on it.
that one was in Destiny 1.
Uh, there was one in Destiny 2. I know they also took out because they had that whole cinematic where it shows like the darkness closing in over the traveler and it absorbs a couple planets and those are just gone from the game. Like you can't
Yeah,
go there and do
Mars, Venus. Yeah, those planets
yeah.
are gone.
Okay, yeah,
That's
Venus is the one I
part of the
think of.
story. That was part of the
Yeah,
story.
but it's still kind of dumb, like
But
I don't know. I
the
don't like
reason
the
why,
idea. I
yeah,
bottom line, I don't like the idea of games, especially where it's like a live service game, just
yeah.
straight up removing content for like any reason. Because it's always the
So
thing. It's like you have people that paid for this content, and like no matter how long it's been around for, say someone paid for the DLC like just a month before they announced that they're gonna vault all the content from it. You're gonna have it like stuff like that where it's like, okay, well, am I gonna get a refund? Like, why did I just spend money on this if I'm not even gonna be able to play it anymore after this amount of time?
so
And I don't
the
know, it's just
canon,
something that gets under my skin.
a lot of people who are complaining about that are actually Xbox users who got the DLC for free from the expats.
But that's not really a valid argument against that because what about people who complain about it on other platforms?
Yeah, I mean, oh, they're gonna get rid of Tingle Shore. I already did all the shit there. I still get to keep my powers and weapons and all that. Cool.
I know, but what I'm saying is you do have cases where people are gonna get cucked over by it with like people who just recently got into the game and bought the DLC or like it's just it's a thing. It's a whole thing.
I understand what you're trying to do, and I understand what Bungie's trying to do. Like, they're preparing Witch Queen. We don't know what that is. It's gonna be.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is why did they just not do Beyond Light and Witch Queen in like its own new separate game, like Destiny 3 Beyond Light?
Um, I don't know because Destiny 2 is only like 4 years old.
Exactly. And like they could have even just made it like, okay, we made Destiny 2 free to play. Now we're gonna make Destiny 3. We're gonna charge the price of a full game for that, like they've been doing with the DLC. And that's how we're gonna make our money. But
I honestly don't see a point of why making Destiny 3 if they're going to just release expansion packs that would have been make sense for Destiny 2. I understand what you're trying to say, but I'm trying to counter argument. Most people are peeved about not getting the Tangled Shore. I think they're going to do something with it in later seasons. I think that's why they're going to get rid of it. I mean, all the missions are still being you can still get the weapons, you get the legendary shit. That's all going to be vaulted, and when we say vaulted, it's going to be in a little pillar. You walk in, you can go over there. Oh, I need this type of material. I need these many things. I need this thing, and I need that thing. Then I can get the gun.
yeah, but eh.
And the reason why they took out planets was because they're doing something special with them in Witch Queen. It's part of the story. Like the Venus, Mars, and Neptune were swallowed in by the darkness.
But what I'm saying is, wouldn't it just make more sense to make that like the main story focus for a Destiny 3? Where you could literally have the title of like Destiny 3 Beyond Light. There you go. You got a whole new game. They could have made improvements to the engine, whatever. They could have shipped it out for the price of a full game.
I don't know why. It just, they're trying to make this like a long-term game.
Which I don't really see why. it doesn't really make all that much sense to me. Because either way, you're gonna have players that get pissed off about content being vaulted from the game. So why
And
not just
people
make
get
them do
pissed
the
off a
game?
lot of things, like because
I
they would have to like cut their resources in half while maintaining Destiny 2 while they work on Destiny 3, and that's just going to be a lot of money wasted. So why
they
not just
don't.
keep add?
I mean, they don't maintain or add new content to Destiny 1.
Oh yeah, the servers are getting shut down. Like,
Yeah. I mean, they could literally just do the bare minimum to keep Destiny 2 still alive, and then they could actually do something like they could work on Destiny 3 in a way that they ain't
I don't.
constrained to the engine
I
and everything that's come before it, is what I'm trying
why
to
do
say.
you? I'm just trying to figure out why do you want a Destiny 3 so bad?
Because it just makes more sense to make a new game with all that new story content
Good evening,
than to
everybody.
try to shove it into